Hey there, innovation champions. Melissa Dinwiddie here. Have you ever wondered why some teams seem to innovate so differently than others? I have recently had a fascinating experience that shed light on this very question in a way I never expected. Back in December, I facilitated the kickoff meeting for a grassroots democracy group in my area, and what started with a dozen people sitting around a living room quickly grew to more than 10 times that number in just over 2 months. Now, had it been just me trying to run things, I would have burned out faster than, I don't know, a tea light. But thankfully, some really amazing women who I had never met before stepped up and to help me out, and they became my leadership team. And as we worked together, I noticed something really remarkable about our approach to problem solving and innovation that I believe offers some powerful lessons for any organization looking to create the impossible. So let me break down what I've observed through the lens of my Create the Impossible framework. If you have been following me at all, if you've watched any of my videos or read any of my blog posts or newsletters, you know that my Create the Impossible framework has 3 steps, and let's go over them. So step 1 is play hard. Now, this does not mean, in the traditional sense of work hard, play hard, go to Vegas and get wild. In my framework, play hard is to embrace your inner 4-year-old, to explore and experiment and follow your curiosity. So here we're talking about playing hard, meaning a different definition of success. In traditional innovation environments, playing hard often translates to competition, individual achievement, and pushing through exhaustion. But our women-led team redefined success in a way that prioritized sustainability and collective well-being. Case in point, as our group grew, actually from the very start, I took on internal communications. So initially, I told everyone that I was not going to be sending out daily emails, and everyone agreed that that made total sense. But as time went on, I found myself sending emails more frequently until I was, in fact, sending them daily. And the open rate was insane. Like, nobody gets open rates this high. And the feedback was incredibly positive, which was a very powerful incentive to continue this very unsustainable practice and pace. And when I met with my leadership team, their response wasn't what you might expect in a more traditionally structured organization. So they didn't say, oh my God, with this kind of open rate, you can't stop. People need you, which might be the more conventional metrics-driven response. Instead, their response was grounded in empathy and long-term thinking. We want what's best for all involved, which starts with what's best for you, Melissa, our leader. And this approach to playing hard doesn't mean working less intensely. Rather, it means playing with an eye toward longevity and collective strength. It's about understanding that true innovation just isn't sustainable when it burns out your key players. So that's step 1, play hard, with a very different definition of success. So let's look at step 2. Step 2 is make crap. And here we're talking about creating safety through vulnerability. Now, one of the most powerful aspects of our team dynamic has been the willingness to show up imperfectly, to make crap together. In our meetings, I've noticed that the women on my team are remarkably comfortable saying things like, I don't know how to solve this yet, but let's figure it out together. Or, I tried this approach and it didn't work at all. And this willingness to be vulnerable creates a profound sense of psychological safety. And research consistently shows that psychological safety is the #1 predictor of team innovation. So if you look at like Google's Project Aristotle, their extensive study on team effectiveness, it found that psychological safety, the belief that you're not going to be punished for making a mistake, that was the most critical factor in team success. And our team really exemplifies this. When any member shares frustration about maybe a process she's designed that isn't working as smoothly as hoped, rather than defending it or hiding the problems, the response is really collaborative and problem solving. There's no blame, there's just improvement. And this environment allows us to suggest solutions that might sound totally nuts, totally crazy at first. It's exactly the kind of atmosphere where breakthrough ideas emerge. And that brings us to step 3 in my framework. Step 3 is learn fast. And here we're talking about wisdom over speed. So learn fast is often interpreted in innovation circles as fail fast, a rapid cycle of trial and error. But what I've observed in our women-led team is a really nuanced understanding that sometimes learning requires slowing down to integrate deeper wisdom. For example, when we were deciding how to structure our rapidly growing organization, we could have just quickly implemented a very hierarchical system based on, familiar models. It would have been very efficient. It would have been very fast. But instead, we took the time to consider multiple perspectives and power dynamics, and we designed a structure that reflected our values of inclusivity and shared leadership. It wasn't the fastest approach, but it led to a more innovative and aligned solution. Now, this does not mean that women-led teams are slower. In fact, quite the contrary. It means they often balance speed with integration, which leads to more sustainable innovations. And research supports this perspective. A study published in the Harvard Business Review, HBR, found that women-led teams often excel at what's called transformational leadership. And that's a style that emphasizes inspiration, intellectual stimulation, and individualized consideration. So, given all these 3 steps of the framework, let's talk about the innovation advantage. As I have reflected on these experiences through my Create the Impossible framework, I've come to believe that women-led teams often bring unique strengths to innovation. So let's talk about those. First of all, they balance individual excellence with collective well-being. Second, they create psychological safety through authentic vulnerability. And third, they integrate diverse perspectives rather than rushing to obvious solutions. Now, this doesn't mean that all women lead this way or that men can't also embody these qualities. But in my experience, and also according to research, these traits appear more frequently in women-led teams and create distinctive innovation advantages. And the results speak for themselves. Our grassroots group has accomplished in months, just over 2 months, what similarly focused organizations often take years to achieve. We have developed creative solutions to complex challenges, from operational issues like member vetting and affordable meeting spaces here in Silicon Valley, to strategic questions about leveraging member expertise and optimizing meeting time. And beyond these very tangible outcomes, we've built something less measurable, but equally valuable, which is a community where trust flourishes, where diverse voices are heard, and where innovation emerges from genuine connection. So here's your challenge for this week. Look at your team's approach to innovation through this lens and ask yourself, are we creating an environment where sustainability is valued alongside achievement? And ask yourself, do team members feel safe showing up imperfectly and learning together? And ask yourself, are we making space for diverse perspectives in our innovation process? Remember, the most innovative teams aren't necessarily the ones with the most resources or the latest methodologies. They're often the ones that foster psychological safety and embrace diversity of thought and understand that true innovation emerges from human connection. Ready to transform how your team approaches innovation through diverse leadership styles? Click the link in the description to book a complimentary innovation strategy session, and let's explore how the Create the Impossible framework can help your organization harness the unique strengths that different leadership approaches bring to the innovative process. If you found this exploration of women-led innovation valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to join our community of innovation champions. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss a new strategy for driving innovation in your organization. I would love to know how your thoughts on this topic evolve and what they are. And let me know, have you experienced different innovation approaches on diverse teams? Share your insights in the comments below. And until next time, stay curious, stay playful, and keep creating the impossible. See you next time. Ciao.